Yo, how is it going, everyone? Welcome back to SkillCapped. My name is Jack, and it's patch day, baby! And that means we gotta talk meta changes. Tier lists. Bada bing, bada boom. You know what it is, you know what we do. Let's freaking go. After consulting a team of experts, pros, scientists, and at least one lawyer. And now you may be asking yourself, why a lawyer? Well, it turns out you can only call a certain Flash agent a literal devil so many times before they get apparently annoyed by it. I'll see you in court, breach! But no, seriously, there was once again no balancing passes in this most recent patch, so we're really here to talk about the meta shifts that have happened primarily around the VCT Masters tournaments, as well as adjust for Astra having been in the game long enough to start making some judgments about her place in the broader metagame. Because of all that, we'll be pretty brief on agents who haven't moved up or down the tiers and spend our time on the agents who changed, alright? Okay? I'm saying that like you guys can stop me, but unless you can go back in time, that's not a thing, so I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm really tired. I'm kind of losing my marbles at this point. Let's just keep this moving, keep the train going. Let's go to our question of the day! And our question of the day is a rather simple one. Who do you guys think has been the most valuable player in the VCT Masters thus far? Any region, any player, who is your MVP? This one is easy as can be for me here. It's TenZ. TenZ has been a monster for the Sentinels. My man retired early like Jordan, then came back and said, hold up, I took that personally, and decided to show the whole North American scene who they should be respecting. But for real, TenZ is a crazy good, potential #1 talent in the world, and it seems his time away from the tournament scene specifically hasn't dulled that potential at all. But that's just my opinion. Let me know your MVP picks in them comments down below. Alright, boom, here it is, our blank tier list. We're starting at the D tier. As always, D tier is the worst tier of agents, and agents who reside here should be considered uncompetitive and not worth taking if your foremost objective is to win games. Alright guys, here we go. Say it with me now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yoru is once again our only D tier agent. Now, I bullied Yoru enough, I'm not going to go on my usual tirade about this dude, but it's even more evident than last time, especially in the pro scene. I'll just let this GIF play in the background, but here are the recent agent pick rates from the various Masters tournaments still going on right now, and unlike the Challenger stage, where teams felt comfortable taking some risks, when the chips are down and winning is the only thing that matters, teams are forgoing Yoru entirely. There's some other interesting stuff here I'll touch on later, but Yoru is just the weakest agent in the game. And that's not changed since last patch, and won't change until Riot give this dude some love. Free my man Yoru, let him be good please, Riot, come on dude, he's so bad. And if you're looking for someone to help make you more viable in the current meta, then go to SkillCapped.com today. Agent guides, we got that. Map guides, we got that. Aim guides, we got that. Smurf commentaries that will show you how to climb out of your rank that you're stuck in, we got that. So click that link down below, go there, sign up, get the rank you've always wanted today. Now let's get on with the video. Moving away from the sadness of D into the overall meh of C, we have a tier that's unchanged entirely since our last meeting, friends. But to reiterate, C-tier agents aren't bad by any means, they are just kind of limited. They either have only one good map or offer up good skills that are done better or easier by other agents. Our first C-tier agent is Skye, and really not much changed here. She's good, she does her job well, like she's just alright. But as far as Flash agents go, I like the Kid of Breach better for committing crimes against humanity, especially because he is arguably the best ultimate in the game, and I like Skye's healing, but I could take Sage instead and now I have her Sentinel kit plus a revive. A case can, and has definitely been made that Skye is fantastic for role compression, because you can take some aspects of Breach and Sage without having to take both of them, and I do respect that. Skye also has a decent niche in the pro scene, especially in EU, and that reflects her place in the game pretty well. Skye just kind of embodies C tier to me. She's good, but she's just not going to be a must pick ever unless something changes. Our other C tier is Viper, the perennial underdog. Now, I made the comment in the last tier list that I found it pretty interesting that Viper had a really high pick rate in pro play on Icebox, but virtually zero pick rate everywhere else, and I didn't really know why, but I'm happy to report that I've read up since then and see and understand why that is. Viper is uniquely suited to both sides of Icebox. Her kit just fits the map layout very well. Her wall can effectively cut both bomb sites in half, her smoke covers up the tiny lanes of Icebox incredibly, and her snake bites can be round wins from very safe places and post plant scenarios. it kind of gives us a cool window of what a Viper meta would look like, and honestly I'm pretty down with Viper right now. I'm personally putting some work in to play her again, as I used to main her a fair amount back in like Act 2, Episode 1. Overall, Viper is just kind of chilling. She's a C-tier agent, but Viper is Viper. She be on her own wavelength living her best life, and we support it. Do you, Viper, live on. Heading on over to our B tier, we have our first major changes on the tier list. But first, as per last time, our B tier agents are good agents at Valorant, and ultimately they tend to be victims of an unfavorable meta shift rather than being outright bad. Our first B tier agent is Cypher, and I'm gonna say it. I don't care what anyone thinks, this is 100% the most correct thing I've ever let loose out of my mouth. Killjoy is better than Cypher in normal play, but Cypher is better than Killjoy in the pros. The days of double Sentinel in general is pretty dead, so teams are only taking one Sentinel, and Cypher, especially in regular play, loses his spot to Killjoy because her ultimate is game-breaking against opponents who often can't coordinate enough to counter it. In the pros, however, info is everything, and Cypher does intel just as well as Sofa, making them the eternal duo that does everything. Cypher stays B tier because he really is not great for most players, but the pros will always get eternal value out of him, and that's just how it is. Our other B tier agent is our first shift at the list, and it's my boy Brimmy with the Stimmy Stone. Brim drops down from A tier this time around because of the introduction of Astra. Unfortunately for Brim, Astra really kind of power creeps him out of viability in my opinion. They both lose to Omen's flexibility outright, but at least Astra brings near Sentinel levels of defense, a very flexible and game-changing ultimate, and the one thing that Brim did better than Omen, which is being godly on attacking post plants once his ultimate is online, is also hard beaten by Astra. Astra with 2 stars does what Brim's ult can do, but better in those same scenarios. While Brim does bring serious value as an uncontested site executor, with triple smokes really letting him slice up map control at a whim, that's at this point his biggest advantage, and it's arguable how worthwhile that is when Astra has more and more flexible utility, and Omen is just unstoppably fast at doing everything. Brim is a great controller, and definitely universally better than Viper, but he's just always a step behind Omen, and now in my opinion Astra as well. I want to throw this thought out there for you guys to chew on. It's something I think about quite a bit, and it's, do all agents in Valorant have to be viable? I think it's a novel concept because game balancing is essentially making small, or when it's necessary, huge changes to help keep the game fresh, but at the end of the day, the player base will always develop hierarchies in a vacuum, and will always figure out what the most viable playstyle is no matter what. And that just kind of leaves Brim in a weird spot. Think about it this way, is Brim worse at smoking a site than other controllers? Their main job and their role? Absolutely not, and frankly he's easier and has the extra smoke on his side to boot. His kit might be one of the easiest to pick up and understand in the entire game, and I think that's by design. I think Riot intend Brim to be like the support entryway for new players to learn the controller role, and then they can move on to other specializations like what are offered by Viper, Astra, and Omen. This means that Brim is always good, basically designed to never be bad, but I don't think he'll break back into A or S tiers again because the niches of other controllers make him stand out less. Just some food for thought. What do you guys think about this concept of like having basically entry-level agents that are made irrelevant at the high level by other agents? Let me know in the comments down below, because it's an interesting thought. I don't know how I feel about it, and it's something I kind of go back and forth on and think about quite a lot. With our daily philosophy lesson done, let's move on to the A tier, which has some pretty big changes this time around. A tier agents are great agents, super viable and always welcome on a team comp, but they just usually end up being fill picks when the OP and S tier agents enter kind of like this insta-pick territory. Our first A tier agent is Phoenix, who drops out of S tier this time around. Phoenix basically hasn't changed. He's an incredible duelist, but he's just kind of taken a slight step back, especially in the pro scene. This mainly has to do with some S tier stuff we'll get into in just a bit. Phoenix is still a phenomenal second duelist and by far the best entry agent in the game. He's simply losing the mandatory second duelist status that he's enjoyed for so long now to other picks. Phoenix does what Phoenix does, and that isn't changing anytime soon. He's just, unfortunately, kind of on the outside of S tier looking in, where previously he was pretty firmly in it. Moving on to our next A tier agent, we got the new kid on the block, the queen of levitating in her gamer chair as she out big brains all teams in existence. It's Astra. Now Astra maintains her spot in A because she's shown herself to be quite viable as a controller, with some very interesting aspects that make her stand out even against the god of controllers Omen. Astra is so good because of her defensive profile. On defense, she's singularly talented as a side anchor, bordering on like a mini sentinel. Her gravity well plus stun make her supremely good at winning post plants like Killjoy or Sova or even Viper, minus the need for pixel perfect lineups mind you. And I think a quite underrated aspect of her, especially in normal competitive play, is her ability to fake takes on attack. I mean, seeing these stars on the ground is a lot like seeing a Viper wall being placed. You just assume they're going to go where the stars are, but aha, sir, you are wrong, I have fooled you! Astra is currently still unexplored, especially at the pro level, so it's hard to make the final judgment on her viability. Keep in mind that even though the Masters tournament is on current patch, or, well, as of Tuesday, previous patch, which means Astra is available, she's so new that teams aren't picking her because the time to experiment with a new agent is not the big tournament to determine how you qualify for the year-end championship of the world, which makes sense. Astra is good though, try her if you haven't, I think she's firmly A tier. Our next A tier agent is Killjoy, and Killjoy do be cruising at the moment. She's right behind Sage as the second best sentinel in the game, and as I elaborated with Cypher, she's strictly better than him in regular play and slightly worse than him in pro play. Her ultimate is game-breaking on both sides, she's nearly unstoppable on post plants when the lineups are brought out, and she's a singularly annoying side anchor on defense, especially on pistol rounds. Killjoy does what her name implies.
She kills all the happiness and hope in her opponents slowly but surely grinding their morale to dust before crushing them entirely.
Huh, weird. Don't know what happened to my voice there. Anyway, moving on. Lastly but not leastly is the man currently flashing into my nightmares, crushing my hopes with each fault line, and just generally being so fucking annoying. It's Breach. It's always Breach. I hate him. I hate him so much. Listen, Breach drops out of S tier solely because he's just not being played as much, which just actually surprises me. Listen, if you struggle to win your 1v1 duels, play Breach. Why learn to react faster on the peak when you can just do this? It's just that easy. Breach should be a nightmarish demon braiding more destruction into every game than he does his own hair, but he just doesn't get played. I don't get it. He's only out of S tier because no one plays this man. He's so good, but not played. I've never seen it like this in any game before. A character be so frustratingly good, but literally sees no significant play. But alas, we must move on from the confusion here and head to the now jam-packed S tier. S tier agents are first in line in team compositions, some of them near mandatory, but generally I would consider these agents to not be overbearing enough to be overpowered tier worthy. Don't let that fool you though. These are the big boys. Like I said in my last tier list, if you don't have a main, look to S tier first. Let's start with the agents still in S tier from last time. First we got Reyna, the solo queue terror, Silver's Bane as I like to call her. Nothing else to say here. Reyna flashes in, takes her head off, then swoops out with her invulnerability, or she sits there and becomes the overhealed goblin we all know, love, and hate. Her ultimate makes Smurfs literally unkillable, and in general, Reyna's either take over games entirely, or bottom frag without communicating one time. That's it. Those are the only possible outcomes in any game that a Reyna is involved. Top frag, unstoppable, 40 kills, or like 5 and 15 and says nothing. Reyna is a paradoxical character to me, because as good as she is in normal ranked, she's plainly less useful at Immortal or Pro level play. It's just facts. Rate of fire increases in healing are really cool, but when literally everybody in the lobby is liable to hit first shot headshots, her value just goes down. I've said it in the past and I stand by it. Reyna is a skill gap agent. She tests how good you are as an individual, and I think that's still true because I still can't kill them half the time. She's still a god tier agent and worthy of S tier. It's just very clear what her strengths are, and if they get stopped, she has no variation. Our next S tier agent, also from last patch, is Raze. Raze is on an even further uptick, and I think it's because players are getting better and better at abusing satchel boosting with the current shotguns to do ridiculous stuff like we're out here playing Tribes Ascend in 2021, rest in peace, never forget. And even outside of everyone in pro games being miniature flights, she still has her normal niche of destroying Bind and Split like it's her day job, and to a lesser extent Ascend and Haven. Raze is out here and she's starting to take that second duelist spot over Phoenix more and more, and in the Masters, she's seeing even more picks than Jett, which is wild. In my heart of hearts, as someone who loves to play Raze, I don't feel like she's better than Jett, but I think it's mainly due to the popularity of Split and Bind and the power of shotguns. So who knows, maybe Raze ascends back to OP tier for a second time in the history of Valorant in the next meta shift. Anything's possible, Raze does what Raze does. Our next S tier agent is Sova. Our next S tier agent is Omen. And finally, our newest addition to the S tier is Say. Okay, fine, I'll go back and talk about Sova and Omen, whatever. Sova is easily the best intel agent in the game. Owl Drone, Recon, Shock Dart, very good ultimate, rinse, repeat, profit. Next! Omen is literally unbeatable in the controller slot. Go watch 45 hours of Flex Engine gameplay, snort some G Fuel, and teleport like a madman. You'll probably still win. Next! And finally, our last S tier agent is the healer, the white mage, the Ice Queen of Valorant, Sage. Now, I got hate for putting Sage in B tier last time around, but that's just kind of how it be sometimes. Shotgun Sage hadn't really broken into the higher tiers of ranked or the pro scene yet, but Sage has seen a huge renaissance in the Masters right now, especially in Europe, where she is currently the second most pick agent overall behind Omen. But that's even considering that Sage's one bad map is Haven, and even then she's not that bad on it. There's just kind of better options in that case. Sage do be cruising and just can't be killed off from this meta. The res, always useful. The wall, always useful. The slow orb, always useful. Her heal, always useful. She facilitates cheddar cheese, shotgun abusing, wall spots, and can make Raze go zoom like nothing else. Sage is great and a bona fide S tier agent right now without a single doubt, and that means once again we are back in a pro meta where the big three agents are Omen, Sova, and Sage. Add in Cypher, and we pretty much have the Valorant equivalent of GOATs from Overwatch, but not nearly as disgustingly overpowered. It's just those four have been so good for so long together that it's just the quintessential Valorant core. Most of the time it's Jett, sometimes it's been raised as the fifth, but that four puts in so much work. And here we are at last, it's overpowered tier time, and frankly, this is the easiest one to do. Jett is still the best duelist in the game by far, and I think her pick rate decline in the pro scene is pretty easily explained. She's exclusively played by operator mains, and if a team doesn't have a main opper, Jett goes down in value. This is specifically for the pros, really. For normal ranked, the same as has been said many times. Jett is a slippery snake, dashing in and out, and styling and profiling while doing it. Smokes let her quickly reposition and combo incredibly well with both her updraft and dash, and that ultimate pretty much means that Jett never has to full save in a game. She's backbreaking when piloted correctly, and has so much variation in how you play her that Jett can adapt to any situation, and for that reason, she's still the one overpowered agent in Valorant currently. And we're done. Tier list over. Here's the final one. Here's the final list. Look at it, stare at it, absorb it, appreciate it. I know it looks amazing. Not much to say here. Get in them comments, start leaving them. I want to read what your guys' tier list are. I'm falling apart here mentally, that's why this is incoherent, but I hope you're having a beautiful day, by the way. Hope you did something fun or won your ranked games or just had a good peaceful day. And if you want us to have a good beautiful day as well, then hit that like button as well and subscribe for more news, guides, and tier lists just like this one with one goal in mind, helping you become a better player. We here at SkillCapped would like to thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.